Yo, what is good, world? It's your boy, Calvin Leroy King, the third. And as always, I have my lovely co-hostess with the most by my side, Miss Reese PC, the one and only.
Hey, y'all.
And we thank y'all for tuning in and turning up for another dope episode of This, That, and the Third, the lifestyle show that gives you life. Literally. Now, we're going to begin the show in the best fashion we know how, and that's beginning with some new news for all y'all, new news. So, Reese, what's topping off our news segment this week?
The Jetsons.
What do you mean? I thought it was the Flintstones.
Okay, so Elon Musk, do you know who that is?
Big weed smoker. He do other stuff too, right?
You know what, he was on the podcast.
Big weed smoker. Big weed smoker. Big clouds of smoke.
So I just saw that, but no, that's not what he's known for.
He known for Tesla.
Yes, he's the founder of Tesla.
Didn't he do PayPal? I think he created PayPal. I think he created and sold PayPal.
Not sure, but he was on Vice News.
Hey, Vice.
Yesterday, because he has this model, and I don't know if you've seen it on Instagram, but he has this model of this underground transit system, right? And in the model, I mean, it looks really high-tech, really Jetson-y-ish, right?
Who invented PayPal? Elon Musk.
Oh, he did invent PayPal. Okay. So basically, he was giving a presentation and kind of going over the infrastructure and what it would be like. Okay, this is a project that I think would be good, right? But as I was sitting there watching this, I was like, well, where is this? California. I said, don't they have earthquakes?
Yeah. Like,
why would you want to be underground?
There's a fault line running all through that.
So that was the only thing that I was kind of like, maybe in another city, but not necessarily in California. However, the CEO of the transit system there thinks it would be great, but they've noticed that there's been a decline in people using public transportation each year. Okay. Yeah, but you know, their traffic is horrible.
Crazy.
It's like gridlock.
Crazy.
So people think that it's physically possible for this to happen, but not economically.
Yeah, it was interesting because as I was traveling abroad, there is like a underground, a train rather, that goes at some point underground through the ocean to get you from like Paris to London or something.
I'm sure.
It's crazy. So, you know, I think anything is possible. It's just, to me, I just feel like, and this is just me limited thinking, right? Ain't something already down there? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how is there just room for a whole underground railroad and there's nothing down there?
Well, I guess it depends on how far they're going.
Yeah. How deep is your love for this goddamn?
I was thinking that.
Yeah, like, golly. Because I've seen documentaries and people mining, this is probably in Africa, but mining like damn near to the core of the earth, looking for precious metals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's been so much stuff. Like, I heard it's a city underneath Chicago. Like how we do the Lower Wacker and we think like that's underneath Lower Wacker. I heard it's even more shit. Like a whole.
I think so. I think
in case we got to evacuate the city, there's a whole city under the city.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just like, it seems like there's already stuff down there. I would just imagine.
And then maybe they're gonna go lower.
And how low can you go? That's the question. But man, shout out to Elon Musk. Is this? I know he's like a polarizing figure, not like a Mark Cuban, but kind of like a hate it or love it.
He's definitely not a Mark.
Yeah, but you know, like a radical thinker and just a envelope. What's it called? Pushing the envelope forward. And a lot of people don't really rock with him. He be sending like rockets to Mars and to the moon, and just he has a lot of money.
He got a lot of money. He can do
what
he wants to do.
Whatever he can think of.
And well, at least he's not in politics. How about that?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Let him play with his toys.
Right. Well, it was 2024. Watch out.
Yeah.
Okay, what else we got going on in news?
Okay, so The Journey. Remember I told you about that movie Icebox?
You did.
About the kid from Honduras. And he was traveling with the caravan. So I watched, of course, Vice. I'm sorry. Vice, y'all need to pay me.
Man, give us coupons or something.
So this was Tuesday night. Instead of their typical like news setup, it was just a story on the caravan. Okay. And in the story, they followed a kid. I believe he was like 16. It was very similar to the movie Icebox. So I don't know if there's a connection. Anyway, the kid traveling in the caravan. I mean, at this point that they started watching him, it was like he had 2,100 miles left. And they were entering at the tip of Texas, or trying to enter. Right. He ended up meeting up with his uncle, and it was like he had a decision to make. You know, either stay with his uncle, work, still live a little better than Honduras, right? But not get to the United States, or continue to travel, but there's a high chance that you're gonna go straight to jail.
What do you do?
And so in the movie, I mean, on the documentary, when they make certain stops, some of these cities in Mexico were deserted. So I was thinking, like, why don't y'all just stay here and gather? And yeah, because a lot of the cities were deserted, and you didn't even see a lot of people living there. But when they got to, so it's a caravan, and they splitting up. Mm-hmm. So one is going to the Texas way, and then one is heading towards like Tijuana, entering to San Diego. Well, the ones that were going to Tijuana, the Mexicans did not want them there.
Oh, no. It don't sound like it. Ain't that where we talked about last episode where they were making that mad dash across the border from Tijuana? Yeah.
The Mexicans was like, go home. It was so weird to see Mexicans like really protesting about immigrants. It was weird. I couldn't. I was
reverse psychology, huh?
Trump has really like made his way across all nationalities, and everybody feels some type of way about an immigrant.
Everybody set tripping on immigrants.
And so a lot of them at that particular stop, they would tell them, this is what's going to happen. These are the 3 things that could happen once you cross the border. They could take you away, they can separate you and your child, or they can put you and your child together. Right. So it's almost like you just
rolling the dice going over.
Yeah. You know, to ask for asylum. But they said if you run, you cannot ask for asylum. So it was like, don't run. Right. And they were just kind of educating them on how to do it and how to get in, but informing them that it's a long wait. Yeah. So what you gonna do?
And it's a long shot.
Yeah.
For success.
And so the young boy was saying that they were walking 10 to 12 hours a day. He said, I'm not even used to walking. It's really hard.
Much per week, let alone per day.
Yeah. And so he chose to stay with his uncle.
Okay.
He chose to stay with his uncle, called his mom, and, you know.
I'm not with the shits, Mom.
Yeah. And so what's interesting in the movie, when I was watching the movie, in the end of the movie, he chose to stay with his uncle for a little while. Okay. Until his uncle connected him with the farm in California that he could go directly to and work.
Yeah.
And so that way the family that on the farm would take care of him and that kind of thing, but he wouldn't be in school.
Ain't got no worries. Nigga ain't worried about nothing.
So yeah, it's just interesting that the fact that it's still going on. Yeah. We just ain't been talking about it.
And that, I think we talked about this maybe offline, but just everything's relative, you know what I'm saying? Like, we think we got it hard. We think we're impoverished. No. Imagine what people that aren't from here are dealing with. Just the journey, as the title suggests. It's like these ones are traveling 10 hours per day by foot.
Not stopping,
not knowing what lies ahead. And they just looking to get in a position that we take for granted often. So it's just kind of like, yo, level the fuck up, man. You kind of got a lot of opportunities. I get racism. I get sexism. I get ageism. I get all that. But it could be worse.
Yeah.
It could be way worse, people. And it is for this nigga.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, what else we got in new news, for all these new news?
Okay, so do you know it's been 20 years since the big Bill Clinton impeachment debacle?
Do you remember growing up and thinking that impeachment meant that you got removed from office, not just charges brought against you?
Yeah, I thought that's what it was.
It seems like every president has been impeached. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all, niggas always slinging mud at our presidents nowadays. So did this kick it off? Like, it seemed like...
So, no, this was the second one in history. I don't know
after
the
Nixon.
First, then that was the
Nixon
first.
had to be. And I think because he got removed, right? And I think Lyndon B. Johnson or somebody had to fill in for him. Yeah. And when we heard he got impeached, we just equated impeachment with being removed, not just charges brought against. Yeah. But technically, impeachment doesn't mean removal. It just means charges filed.
Charges filed with the intention to probably try to remove.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We trying to get you up out of
here. So, yeah, this was on, and they talked to Ken Starr. He was the former independent counsel who was prosecuting Bill, and just his take on it. And the interesting thing is, he speaks highly of Bill Clinton.
I was going to say, are they friends now?
No, Bill hasn't forgiven him.
Okay.
But he has no bad blood with Bill.
Right,
you know what I mean?
I was doing my job.
He feels like, he was just doing his job, but he also understood that at the time, Bill obviously is charismatic. He was well liked amongst everybody. The country was doing well. The economy was doing well. We were at peace. So he was like, I was like the skunk that rained on the parade, you know, to pull these charges. And then he said...
But wait, were the charges based on the dick sucked them? Or like what?
So it's the Monica Lewinsky scandal. Right. But because Monica kept them on hold, the prosecutor, she never agreed to go forward to prosecute because her loyalty was to Bill. And he said that.
Was it?
He said that. He said she kept us waiting and waiting and waiting. And so we couldn't. because she kept them waiting, Bill was able to maneuver through that shit. And that's why he didn't get removed.
Got you.
You know, he had these charges, but because she wasn't pressing those charges, you know.
Said the state picked him up.
Yeah.
Nigga.
And so then they asked Ken Starr, kind of like, what does he think about Monica Lewinsky? He was like, you know, he calls her an American tragedy.
Damn. How so? Like, is she dead?
No, just because he said she was young, but she knew exactly what was going on. She knew exactly what she was doing. And every decision she made in that year determined what the rest of her path was going to be. And it hasn't been a good one.
Hasn't been a good one, but wasn't, I mean, tragedy means like not able to come back from it. You know, like when something is tragic, it's like almost to the death.
I don't think she's been. I mean, I don't know personally.
I think
but
that
I think
Monica
she's probably working.
If she wanted to boss up off of a book, she could. If she wanted to come out, not saying she wants to. Well, she can't write. Like if she wrote a tell-all, niggas would buy it.
I think it sank.
You think so?
Yeah.
We got to look that up, G. I don't know, but I just think that tragedy is like. And as long as you got breath left in your body, it's not a tragedy because you have another chance. You know what I'm saying? To be better, to do better, right? When we was young, we was not fucking first ladies and presidents. So I feel like she was ahead of the game. You know what I'm saying? She's young and thugging. You know what I'm saying? And getting it in with the most powerful man in the world, right? So it's like, is that tragic or is it commonplace?
I think it's tragic for, if she's not where she wants to be now in life, then it is a tragedy. Because she could have been smarter in that move, you know, within
and like
what was going on.
And fucking, Black China this nigga? Like, that's not success.
Well, Black China's very comfortable right now, and I don't think she's an American tragedy.
If she was so comfortable, why is she campaigning for increases of child support?
Because she wanted to stay comfortable.
Or be more comfortable,
Right.
meaning that she might not be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? The money don't make you comfortable. The freedom does. And if she has the freedom to be like, I did what I did, not advocating for adultery or nothing like that, but I was young, I made a mistake, but I didn't compound the mistake by going with these strangers' opinion of what I should do in this space.
Yeah.
I was fucking with dudes. She might have been in love with dudes.
They say she was. They said she was in love with them.
Love is
she
blind.
was really.
Love is blind.
Okay, are you campaigning for Monica?
Monica, we need more Monicas, dog. We need more Monicas, dog. Just gonna suck dick and if she don't clean her dress off, we wouldn't be having this discussion. That's the one mistake she made, in my opinion.
Well, we need to be working on impeaching Trump, but that just seems like that's just not
impossible. This motherfucker has a force field around him.
Right?
Golly. All right. Well, man, congratulations to surviving 20 years past the most embarrassing moment in your family's legacy, Bill. You know what I'm saying? I don't think people really think about it too much nowadays.
The crazy thing is, Ken Starr said, they asked him, you know, you speak highly of Bill, but you don't really like Hillary. He was like, no, I think she's a horrible person.
Who said that?
Ken Starr.
Based on what?
Her time in the White House when he was president.
Right.
Her as a senator, her running.
Just her body of work is terrible.
He said she, as a person,
you got a trash ass body.
He said Bill Clinton is a good man, but flawed. She's a bad person.
Golly. It's a bold statement.
Yeah.
What if we examine Ken Starr? Like, I'm sure we would find some shit out about him.
That's why he retired and chilling.
Stop calling people tragedy and bad people, man. We all just have room for growth.
It was something about Hillary. I knew she wasn't gonna win because it's
just that thing.
Something, yeah.
It's that one thing that got me thinking. All right, man. Well, I think that about wraps us up for new news for all y'all new news on this week's episode of This, That, and the Third. Literally.